today, he is the Golden Boy winner, the biggest gap in history of the voting process over second place Jude Bellingham from Borussia Dortmund. So last year, it was Ansu getting second behind Erling Haaland, which, I get that one. And then this year, Dortmund decides to get second as Barcelona gets
Payback.
first. Yeah, a little bit of payback. So I'm going to start with my hot take here, Rafa, and then we'll work backwards because I know you want to hear the hot take. So my hot take is I dug deep inside myself. And yes, when Ansu was out for those 9-10 months, seeing Ansu Fati play again was most of the things that I thought about right when I woke up in the morning, right? That was what consumed me, is that what does Barcelona look like when Ansu comes back? I really kind of was making him putting him on the white horse and saying, he's coming, everybody. It's going to be okay. But actually, honestly, with Xavi taking over as manager, yes, I'm excited to see Ansu come back and be healthy under Xavi, who wouldn't be. But I'm actually more excited to see Golden Boy winner Pedri under Xavi because I think Ansu is Ansu under almost any manager. You can't really teach that. Everything there is inherent. But because of the reliance that Xavi has on his high interiors, I think Pedri could get even better. And I got some flack for saying that, he needs to finish his final product, not even his final product in goal scoring, but his finishing his final ball. There it is. I finally found the word. So his final ball needs to improve. And I'm going to stick by the stats that he completes more final third passes than almost anybody in world football because Barcelona have so much possession, especially whether it was at the Olympics. He had definitely, I don't even look this one up. At the Olympics, he had more final third passes than any other player in that entire tournament. And then for Spain at the Euros over the summer, I think he was top 3 or top 2 on that category for final third passes completed. So he is buzzing around. He's already in the right spots. But I think with the system that Xavi wants to play, that final ball might come. And once those assist numbers start racking up, once his key passes, which I think he was 31st or 34th or whatever in the Liga last year, once that number makes him the top 5 in the Liga final or key passes or whatever, whenever that number gets to what it is, whatever we think the eye test is, once that the number and the ranking he is in league back that up, his assist numbers are going to go up. His goals are going to go up. And I think for all that Pedri has been capable of in his 52 appearances at the Camp Nou in his first season there, winning the Copa del Rey, but again, playing a major role for Spain to the semis and winning Young Player of the Tournament and Olympics and all that stuff, playing under Xavi makes me believe that Pedri still has the best to come, whether it's in a 3-4-3 or 4-3-3. I think he's almost a perfect Xavi player with everything that Xavi said he wants out of a player. Maybe even Gabi got 5th on that list. Let's talk about Gabi after that. But yes, I want you to respond to Pedri. I don't think it's a hot take, right? The Pedri point.
No, it's not a hot take. I think it's something that a lot of people would agree with, and I think using that to go back to what I was saying and complement that a little bit. That's the thing. And then I like to use references and like superheroes and things like that. It's basically, again, if you didn't like the one that I had, maybe this one. It's like Xavi is Splinter, and his Gavi, Pedri, and everybody are the Ninja Turtles. He's showing them the way. And basically, I just get so excited that I can't even utter words because I completely agree with you. And it's just like he's showing them, like you're seeing up to here, but you can see so much more when I teach you the ways. And this is why when the ball is on the left flank with Ansu and the defender is here and the little nuances, like just position your body here. Think about it this way. When the other interior is here, you can go over here. And then this gives you the option of like receiving the ball between lines. And then this and that and bing and bang. And so it's like, if we were excited with Pedri last season, his breakthrough season, first season with Barcelona, and he was freaking amazing. Sadly, he was driven to the ground by Koeman during the last few months of the season. Then he went with Spain for the Euros, and then driven to the ground again, which I think was just absolutely insane that he went to the Olympics with Spain. And then Barcelona should have been more firm when he wanted to come back earlier and be like, no, you're not coming back. You need to rest. And Barcelona weren't firm with that. So I think there was a lot of mishandling Pedri's first year fitness wise. We and the Spain Federation drove into the ground. So if we're still excited with Pedri, like it just shows he won the Ballon d'Or. I think he was one of the best players in the Euro. I think he led Spain to the semifinals at just 18. With Xavi, what you were saying, and then Gavi being the fifth one in the Golden Boy voting, it's just Xavi expanding their mind, and it's normal. They're 17, they're 18. If they're so good now, without knowing all that they could and hopefully end up knowing, with Xavi teaching them, it's just, oh my God, as Barcelona fans, we can be so excited about this is just the tip of the iceberg with two young players that we don't know what their end product is going to be, but we can get so excited because the sky is the limit with them, just them. And now that we added Xavi, probably one of the best midfielder I've ever seen. And then some people I know would say Zidane, Iniesta, it's all down to taste. But to me, I'm a Xavi guy. And then the brain that he is, it's like Guardiola. It's just that it's like a beautiful mind. Like they're just calculating up absolutely everything. That when you're here, you know that the left back is here, the right back is here, the forward, the left winger, and things like that. So they're gonna be a sponge. And when they learn the ifs, the whats, and things like that, they're just gonna be so freaking good that it's just, oh my God, I think you can tell that I'm really excited. So this is what I'm looking forward the most. Like what you said, Ansu is gonna be Ansu probably no matter what, with more every coach that he's under,
as long as he's healthy, right?
Exactly. As long as Ansu's gonna be, you know what what you're gonna get from it. It's obviously he's gonna be a little bit more like smarter in his decisions with Xavi, but the young midfielders that Xavi has at his disposal, that's what I'm most looking forward to, that Xavi is now Barcelona's coach.
Well, I mean, using your analogy a little bit more, that makes Florentino Perez Shredder, I think. I can just say
he is, yeah, 100% he is.
Right? Yeah, the corporate underground. But yeah, I mean, on the point of then I was getting a question too about Pedri, and I've heard like, well, who's your starters or who's going to be benched? And I reiterate again, when Pedri comes back in 4 weeks' time, that it's not a matter of who's benched. It's that players are going to be rotated in a way that we've never seen before for Barcelona's midfield in a long, long time. Because going back to the days of Xavi and Iniesta and then to Rakitic, you put those names immediately on the team sheet. I mean, to say about rotation in midfield, you're really legitimately going back to 03, 04, 05 in that era. As Xavi was kind of coming up, as Iniesta was coming up, as Deco was in the midfield, and this is even prior to the days of Seydou Keita coming. So, yeah, I mean, I think you're talking about a long time since we saw a proper midfield rotation. It's been quite some time. And then I want to say too that Xavi is the greatest game manager midfielder that I've ever seen, as far as whatever Xavi was dictating, right? Like Xavi had bad days at the office, just like everybody does. And those are the days when Barcelona kind of had a bad day at the office. But if Xavi was controlling a game, the other team had no life. They had no oxygen, and they had to have a ton of luck to get any result against a Xavi, paced game, we'll say. But yeah, so Pedri, I'm excited. It's not about, is it him or Gavi? I actually think just Pedri does so much of what Gavi does as terms of pressing, in terms of ball retention. I think he actually does those things even a little bit better than Gavi, believe it or not. But that's because he's 2 years older even. And Gavi is still this incredible talent and deserving for as few months as voters had to see him. And maybe it is recency bias, but Gavi is easily top 5 now in the world and fully deserving of that number 5. And I know because I said that I think Pedri's a little bit farther along being 2 years older, that all the Gavi stands are going to get in my mentions now too, just like the Pedri stands did. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a good problem to have a manager decide between Pedri, Gavi, Nico, De Jong, and Busquets, if he's really, that being Xavi, ultimately wants to have 2 pivots and 2 interiors. But I don't know. Maybe Xavi is going to go with a 4-3-3 and stay on that path. But yeah, that does mean then you then have to sit Nico or Gavi or Pedri if you're going to just put Ansu up there on that left wing and keep Memphis up high. And again, that's if you keep a right back in the way that it is. Is it going to be Alba moving back? But it's a good problem to have when this team is healthy, that there's so many options.